And a lot of times what's happening with us is as long as we're around a group of people who won't get mad, it must have been okay. This is the way God has given me to minister. I am not going to get mad at you because it does me no good to be angry with you. I'm not going to hold that anger any long period of time. I'm not going to fuss at anybody. I'm not going to demand that anybody do anything other than either be committed or walk away. That's all I ask. Well, how can I police that? You can't. You have to decide that if God is who He says He is, I have to be faithful in simply keeping my commitments. This is what I tell everybody. Now, the challenge you face is this. You have an enemy. He is not recognizing the good things you've done. He does not care what you did yesterday. He does not care that Keisha's made, as we talked about earlier, fantastic effort to get to look at the film, to make it to the meetings. He don't care. He got one concern, to make sure she doesn't believe it. He does not care how much you know, how positive you are. Because see, we're in a world where everybody's talking about being positive. Everybody being positive. Somebody tell me what positive. Tell me the difference between what's positive and what's negative. If I wanted to go out and only deal with positive people, how would I know they're positive?
Focusing on good things.
Okay, what are the good things? Focusing on good things?
Good behavior, good actions.
Well, we should have good.
Hold on, not everybody at the same time. Focusing on good things, good behavior. What is good behavior?
To do good.
To do good to who?
Everyone.
Okay, how can you do good to everyone?
You have God first.
Huh?
You have God first.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If I had $100 and I know two people who need it, and I take it and give it to one, because I chose that one. That one's going to say I did good. What's the other one going to say?
You were wrong.
Okay, so how have I done good?
You help someone.
Yeah, but what about the one that say I didn't help them?
You can't help
Good
it.
hope them.
Well, you just told me I'm supposed to do good to everybody.
I mean, you ain't always got it, so I ain't gonna do good to everybody if you ain't got it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, here's the problem. You can't do good to everybody because everybody doesn't know good. There's no possible way you're going to do good to everybody. The problem is you're serving people. Do what God says. See, the idea of positive is us running around here wanting people to be saying nice things about each other. When you're doing your best, sometimes people are going to say the worst things about you.
But I don't see it as if you're gonna be with people because they say good things about you. It's just that I don't want to hear your problems. If I talk to you, and I cannot stop dealing with people through life, right? But I'm not gonna be around this person that's always talking about problems because I don't want to even hear it.
I 100% agree with that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, see, we have a lot of confusion. We'll leave this room today, and what keeps happening a lot of times in people's lives, people get themselves empty. I get it off my chest. Okay, get it off your chest. It's going to get back on. Whatever you get off your chest today, something is coming back. I'm trying to find out what I'm trying to teach people how to do is stay consistent. The reason being, if you want your long-term goals to happen, they are dependent upon you being a long-term person. You have to be able to consistently perform, which means you're going to encounter emotion. When I wake up in the morning, my body starts from the very beginning saying, hey, it's only 5:30. You don't have to get up yet. I know you're hearing this message and it's saying to you, get up and write this stuff down, but don't write this down yet. And if I don't write it down, I miss the information. So if I decide that I'm going to be a servant of the information that's given to me, what if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and that comes? Do I get up and write it down? No, I don't feel like it. Most of what we're doing is feelings. Now, if you start operating by feeling, you know how many things are going to affect your feeling during the day? You ain't even battling the devil yet. We just battling your flesh. I need to exercise. God gave me this body. And if God gave me this life, here's what we must understand. Yes, and we like to hear this. God is concerned about everything that goes on in your life. Everything. He does not want you to have a single problem. But why does he not want you to have a single problem? Because we have this treasure in earthen vessels. Christ in you, the hope of glory. God has invested in you something that's very valuable. That if you can't maintain your physical existence, you can't get it out. The only thing that keeps people not living for God is not necessarily your body, but your way of thinking. And if we don't get our thinking straight, you won't be where you need to be when you need to be there. And this is what destroys success. Anything we want to work, all we have to do is be consistent in it. That's what perseverance, the word faith itself, is persistence. Stay at it. Okay? Well, what if I get up and say, hey, I want this ministry to work, but this morning I don't feel like coming. And you know what? They wouldn't mind if I don't come. They ain't gonna really miss me. Somebody else can speak in my place. Okay? Well, here's what I've done and what I've done. I've told God, I'm dispensable, Lord. You don't really need me. Now I want to come back to God and tell him I am valuable. Well, how can I tell God I'm valuable if I'm not responsible? See, every time I show up because I'm valuable. The more valuable you know that you are, the more often you're going to show up, and the more space you'll put between, if I'm not coming, you're going to know 3 years in advance. Not 15 minutes. See, it's another part of not understanding how valuable you are. When we understand how valuable we are, then I gotta watch what I eat because I gotta be around. My kids need me. I gotta watch the exercise because I need to be around. But if you get that stolen from you and you don't understand your value, well, God cannot ascribe any more value to you than you ascribe to yourself. That's why most people believe they don't need a healer. But if you realize you're important, you almost demand that healing. I got to be there. I watch people do it all the time. And they don't even talk about God in it. If they need to be at work, and they got a headache and the flu, I see people take medicine, wrap up, and go. Why? Because I got to pay these bills and I need my check. But God is primary in your life. Come on. See, what we're not understanding is, if you want the kingdom to always give you kingdom goods, then you got to serve the kingdom all the time. The difference in God and your job is God is 24/7. People who are committed to doing well do it all the time. One of the challenges I was reading in the book of The Miseducation of the Negro years ago when he wrote this book, that something that was beginning to occur among African American students, and sometimes college students in general, was that people were feeling like all they need to do is go to school, do well, make A's. Well, that's good. But when you're done making the A, you got to make an A in life too. You follow me?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the only reason they give a scholarship to somebody is to do what? Do well. Now, but the scholarship is going to run out at some point. Am I correct or incorrect? Because they're paying you for this period. What scholarship is life going to give you? Huh? Just everyday life. And this is why I see people fail in that life. Because they think that I can do well in 2 areas, and I can fail in 5, and I'm going to pass life. Do you follow?
Yes.
There's an enemy that you have. He don't care what area you fail in.